And I see some beautiful faces that I haven't seen on this call before. So welcome to our African team, and welcome to all of the beautiful faces I'm seeing for the first time. I see Dana, the Harper. I haven't seen that face. So I'm excited to have you on the call. Oh, see that smiley face. It's so good to have you on this call. And to all of our leaders in Africa, partner council members, Yolandi, Nick Papers, Dr. Charles, Michelle, Ajiri, Ima, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the leadership that you continue to provide for our markets, and to all of our teaming brand partners. You're the reason why we're on this call, and we're super excited for what the future holds for us. Starting with this amazing call with our president for Emea and Latam markets, Cameron Bott.
Awesome. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you for putting this call together. Always an exciting time for us. Before we get into the call, let's give a quick updates on some things that we're working on, because I know everybody's like, come on, we got some really cool stuff. So if you aren't aware, we're working on a really great program for South Africa. And I know it's been a long time coming, but we're doing it right. We're doing things the right way so that we can have a long-term, long-lasting company, right? That's what it's all about. There's a lot of ways people can cut corners and get things done pretty quickly. We refuse to do that because what is one of our mottos, right? What's one of our vision statements is that we want to create a company that's going to last forever. We're creating 100-year, 200-year, 300-year company. We're not creating a company that's going to last for 5 or 10 years and then eventually get sold to some sort of venture capitalist group that's like a lot of these companies that are happening in the United States right now. So good updates on that. We hope by the end of the year to be through a lot of these registrations that we're doing for South Africa, be able to get some things going. And it's going to be really exciting for us, so that no longer do you have to import things on your own and go through all the hullabaloo on that. We're going to make things a lot more simple for you. And we're just going to go hardcore. We're just going to make it happen, right? We've got some new leadership groups here. We've got some old leadership groups here. We've got some people who've just been kicking butt, and we're really, really excited. All I'm going to say is get ready. So today's mindset training is about getting ready too. Is about getting focused. Is about getting our brains in the right positions, right? And let me go ahead and get over to my screen here. I'm going to share my screen. And let's see if this wants to work today. All right. Tell me if you can see the full screen one. Blessings, does that look good in full screen? Or are you still seeing the small screen one?
Still the small one.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this real quick. We're going to go share screen. I'm going to share my desktop. And let's go full screen and see if you can see that. How about now? Full screen? Little screen? No screen?
Full screen.
Full screen? Perfect. Okay. Awesome. And I'm going to minimize everybody's pictures down here so I can see my screen. All right. Today's mindset training is you are what you think. This isn't something new. I'm sure you've heard this before. I'm sure you've talked about it before. I'm sure you've gone over it before, but I've had kind of a interesting reason as to why I've brought this one up. And as you know, when I write these trainings, I write them for myself, right? I think they're things that I need, and hopefully I can share those and they become things that maybe you're struggling with, or something that you need, or just a good reminder. Okay. But before we begin, remember, notebooks, pens, paper, whatever you need to be able to follow along with today's content too. So you are what you think. Okay. In the chat, Melissa, I love what Melissa's already saying. Guys, put in the chat here, what do you think this is? What does this mean to you? You are what you think. All right. Melissa said, I've heard that a lot from Earl Nightingale. You are what you think. What do you think that means? What does it mean to you? And we'll get some notes here in the chat. Well, the reason that I brought this one up What you think about, you bring up. Whatever you put out in the universe is what is going to receive, what you're going to receive back. You manifest your reality. Holy cow. And do you absolutely manifest your reality? Yes, you do. Um, I'll tell you a story about my kids here in just a second that I talked to them. But why did I bring this one up? I, for the past year, I've had a really hard year. I mean, everybody knows about my dad passing away and some things happening in, with whether it be business or whether it be family or whatever. We all have hard times. But I got into a mindset for just a little bit where I stopped trusting a lot of people. And I don't know where it came from. Something triggered. And I stopped trusting people for quite a bit. And it manifested in my life. I started thinking that people were untrustworthy. And so some people started to become untrustworthy. And my wife sat me down. She goes, "You train on these things all the time about mindset." And she said, "I'm sorry to say it, but your mindset sucks, Cameron. It's terrible. You need to change it." And I went, "You know what? You're right. I talk about all these things and I'm doing so well in all these areas, but this one set of my mindset was really hard." And so I changed it. And so I started saying every morning I'm going to have positive affirmations. Every morning I'm going to talk positive. Every morning I'm going to say today's going to be the best day. Every morning I'm going to say, you know what? All these people around me are trustworthy. And you know what started to happen? People started to become trustworthy. My day started to go better. And I finally realized and said, oh, it wasn't the people around me that weren't trustworthy. It was just my mindset. That's it. Now, that's not to say that there aren't going to be people around you that aren't trustworthy, right? You still need to be careful with people. But there it is, Melissa. You just said it. It's the law of attraction. Who was I bringing around me? What type of people was I attracting with my attitude? Because people who want to be with trustworthy people are trustworthy in themselves and believe that other people are trustworthy. Okay. This is what happened. We're discussing the power of our thoughts. And this was an important part to me. Take care of your, and I love this quote, take care of your thoughts, they become your words. My thoughts absolutely became my words. I don't trust this person. I don't trust that person because this, and this. And then take care of your words because they become your actions. Because I didn't trust certain people, my actions, I became closed off a little bit more. Take care of your actions because they become your habits. My habits where I would be more willing to cooperate, where I was more willing to work with people. And this wasn't in my job. This was in another area of my life, right? Where I'd be more willing to work with people. It became a habit where I became more closed off and was unwilling to work with people. Take care of your habits. They become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. Holy cow. All from a thought, all from a thought that I had. How many of you have ever had that situation? Or I want you to think right now, how many of you currently have a situation? I want you to take 30 seconds or write that down in your notebook. Is there a mindset or is there something that you're thinking about in your life right now that probably isn't the best thing for you? Take 30 seconds and think about it. I'll give you some ideas. Is it a lack of trust with people? Is it maybe self-negative speak? Maybe you're telling yourself that I can't do things or I'm less than. Is it um, I'm not as good as somebody else? Is it I'm a bad person? Is it I'm better than everybody else? Right? That's the opposite side of this thing. Write those down. And I'm going to give you a few other ideas of things that you can think about in your life here in just a minute. But I want to convince you, and I did this to my kids the other day, that our thoughts actually are powerful. Okay. Now, this next thing I'm going to show you, it's not a magic trick. It manifests because our bodies have frequency all the way down to our cellular level. And our thoughts impact ourselves all the way. They impact our body movements. They impact our cellular movements. They impact everything. Do you notice that if you have positive thoughts, you feel better during the day? Do you notice that if you have negative thoughts, you generally feel worse throughout the day? It's called depression, right? Depression is not only just some kind of a wiring issue for a lot of people in their brain. It can become a thought process. It can become what they're putting out into the world. Okay, so my kids, I was talking to my son about homework and he was really struggling with work. And I said, you have full control over this. He goes, I'm not smart enough to do the work. And I said, you're absolutely smart enough to do the work. You just keep telling yourself you're not smart enough to do the homework. I said, I want to prove to you that if you start telling yourself that you are smart enough and that you can do it, your homework's going to become easier. And he's like, I don't believe you. I think that's a huge lie. You know, there is no such thing like that. And I said, okay, let me show you a video. And this is the video I want to show you real quick.
So if the mind, we're going to do this experiment to prove how powerful the mind is.
Yeah, there are many experiments you can do, but we can do this simple one if you want.
Let's do this, stick with that one.
Okay.
A lot of pressure here. And what does this mean?
Well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Hold this string between your thumb and your forefinger. Just hold it. Rest your elbow comfortably on your thigh.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Yeah, rest it comfortably. I'll hold it still. Now, just while you're holding that still, mentally have the idea it's moving back and forth. Mentally have the idea that it's moving. Okay? Don't worry, it'll start moving, and it'll start moving wider and wider. See, it's already doing that. Okay? In any direction you want. There you are. Now, once it's doing that, just change the idea in your mind that instead of swinging it like that, it's going to start swinging like this in a different direction.
Oh, my
mentally.
Heavens.
See? Now, mentally have the idea that it's going to start making circles. Just mentally have the idea it's going to start making circles. There you are, see? Circles. Now bigger and bigger circles. There you are.
Oh, my heavens.
Okay?
I didn't think I could do it. I was feeling a lot of pressure here.
Okay. Well, listen. Now,
I can't believe it's doing it.
Yeah. And now have the idea that it's going to reverse the circle. So if it's making circles...
no, I don't know if I can do that.
Just have the idea.
Okay.
Just have the idea.
That it's going to reverse the circle.
Yes. Just keep that idea in your mind. You see, your expectancy determines outcome. And as long as you're not attached to the outcome will be guaranteed.
Okay.
Whenever we fulfill a desire, whatever that desire is, certain things happen. Number one, we expect a certain outcome.
Oh, it just switched.
There you are.
It just did it.
See?
I can't.
And this is living proof that every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your internal dialogue. And by changing your internal dialogue, you can influence the chemistry, the
even
fundamental
Sally's impressed.
chemistry.
Sally's saying,
cell.
I didn't think you could do it, but you did. Every cell?
Every cell. How would this happen?
Now,
otherwise?
see, now this is amazing, because if you can do this with a string,
right,
it means you can do it with your life.
Yeah, you can do it with anything. You can fulfill any desire in life that you want, because inherent in having the desire is the mechanics for its fulfillment. I don't have the same desires as you because nature gave me those desires that nature means to fulfill through me.
Okay. Hi, you.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I think that's absolutely awesome. When we have that desire and we manifest that desire through our speaking and through our thoughts. Not only does it impact our speaking, but it impacts us down to a cellular level. Now, this thing's not magic, right? We all know how it works. When you think about it, your body naturally starts moving in that direction. So you're moving the string. However, cognitively, you're not controlling your hand. Your body's controlling your hand, right? If that can happen to your hand, why can't it happen to the other things around you? We all know, and I believe that everything is wavelengths, everything is energy, everything around us can be impacted. I mean, science has proven that, it's shown it. When we're putting positive energy out there, I mean, we're full of energy. That's what we're, water and energy. That's what our body is, right? Water and electricity. If we put out that energy, then I believe that absolutely impacts those around us who impact us. It comes full circle. Okay. I'm going to take, and by the way, let me follow up with my son on the homework. So this was about 6 months ago, and he was not doing well in classes. I mean, he was failing math, he was failing geography. And he's done a lot of hard work to go through. It's taken him a while, but he's come back and he's got 4 A's, he's got 3 B's, and we're working on getting a C fixed, right? So we're taking care of that one, but so much better than what he was doing. I'm going to remind him, and I'm going to come back to him and say, hey, remember how we had that talk and that discussion about if you talk positively about yourself, if you put those things out there, you can actually change your potential. You can change the things that happen. Now, I've read a book It was years ago, and it's an interesting book. How many of you have ever seen the movie The Chronicles of Narnia or heard of C.S. Lewis? C.S. Lewis is a really interesting, he's kind of a religious scholar, writes religious books. And he has one book called The Screw Tape Letters. And it's a fiction book, but what it is it's about um, two devils, right? There's a senior devil named Screwtape, and then there's his nephew, a junior devil named Wormwood. And the book is letters back and forth between these two, talking about one person that they have, and he's called the patient. Okay, and their whole job is Screwtape, the senior devil, is trying to teach Wormwood how to influence or how to ruin this man's life, right? The subject's life. And it's really interesting because the whole book goes through the perspective of if, and this is the perspective that I'm taking, if I wanted to stop you from reaching your full potential, here's the things that I would do. And that book is full of these, how we get influenced, how the world tries to influence us, right? So I want to take it from that direction of, instead of teaching you positively how to avoid, how to move on, I'm going to take the negative approach today, which is, how am I going to stop you from reaching your full potential? So what I want you to think is, of these next examples, do any of these creep into your life? I can guarantee they have. They've creeped into mine, right? So let's go next. All right. First one, create doubt. If I wanted to keep you from reaching your full potential, I would plant seeds of self-doubt in you and make you question your abilities. It'll cause you to fear failure and give up your goals prematurely. Okay. I want in the chat here, why or how many of you have ever had doubt creep into your life? If you have had doubt creep in your life, throw a heart in there, throw a thumbs up, whatever you want. I have. I mean, I think it happens probably once a week, right? Doubt creeps in. I'm not as good as I should be. I don't think I can do this. Okay. That was the same situation with my son. There's no way that I can do this. There's no way that I can do the maths. It's way too hard. It's way too advanced for me. Well, that's the world, and that's ourselves planting seeds of doubt into ourselves. Why is this dangerous? I'd love to get somebody's feedback on, why is planting self-doubt in yourself dangerous? And that it's in this last sentence here. While people are typing, I'll give an answer to it too. It causes you to fear failure. You stop trying. You stop trying. Fear, you said it right. It causes you to fear failure, and so you just stop doing the things that make you successful. Self-sabotage. I love it. Why does giving up prematurely bad? Well, you look at all of the best athletes out there. I follow baseball players because I coach baseball, and I try to figure out how I can best coach my kids in baseball. But I look at these professional athletes who are just doing absolutely amazing. In fact, one of the kids that I coached baseball when he was really young, he just got drafted into the Major League Baseball Association in the United States. So he's playing professional baseball, right? And this kid always had something different about him. His mindset was huge. His mindset was awesome, right? But I look at these professional athletes and I see how many times they failed. How many times they failed. Okay. I remember coaching this little kid. He had a crazy mindset, but he was not great. He was not a good baseball player when we started. And he failed a lot. And he was a really bad pitcher and he was really bad at hitting. But he never had self-doubt. He never said, I can't do it. As a little kid, he always said, I'm going to play in the Major League Baseball. I'm going to be a professional. And I was like, okay, I believe in you. I think you're going to do it. And I never created doubt in him. I didn't. In my mind, I didn't really know, right? But he made it. As a professional athlete or as professionals, if you want to get there, you're going to fail. But you can't let failure scare you. Okay. We believe the little devil sitting on our shoulder saying we're not good enough. In fact, it's just the devil who doesn't want you to succeed. Amen. There's so many things out there that don't want you to succeed. But on the other side, there are so many things that do want you to succeed. And I don't know what you believe or not. I believe that things have been put out there for us to succeed. And I think our natural brain is to focus on the obstacles that we have in life instead of focusing on the opportunities that we have and the things that are going to make us succeed. Right? You're walking down the road and there's a big boulder right in front of you and you're going, oh, that's in my way. I'm never going to be able to get around it or go over it. And instead, what you do is you lift up that boulder and you use it to smash through the door that's in front of you. Use these obstacles, right? Use the things that are placed in your life. Where you think you can and you can't, you're absolutely right. Rather attempt at something and fail than attempt at nothing and succeed. Oh my gosh, I love that one, Nick. Okay, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute too. All right. Number 2, if I wanted to have you give up on yourself and not reach your full potential, I would distract you. Okay. Since the time that all of us, I mean, we're all around the same age, give or take 10, 15 years on this call. From the time that we were born to the time now, how many more distractions are there in our lives? We see it. We absolutely see it. So if I wanted to have you give up, I would flood your life with distractions. I'd have you on social media all day long. I'd have you in unhealthy relationships. I'd have you take on unnecessary responsibilities. I'd get you so busy that you wouldn't be able to focus on your purpose. How many of us feel like we have to take on unnecessary responsibilities because we compare and contrast those people around us? Well, so-and-so is doing something, so I need to do it. So-and-so is doing really well at the gym, so I need to go to the gym for 10 hours a day. Go to the gym for enough to make you healthy and make you feel good, right? Social media can be a great tool, but it can also be a great distraction. Use it for your business. Spend the time that you need to improve your business and to improve some of your relationships, but don't zone out on it, right? I think so many of us get into this where we just scroll and scroll and scroll. It's called mindless scrolling, where we don't even know what we're looking at, right? The pictures just roll past our eyes. So I would try to distract you as much as I possibly could. Okay. Next. And this goes along with this distraction. I would encourage comparison. I would lead you to constantly compare yourself to others. It's going to fuel insecurity, envy, and a sense of inadequacy. In the United States, we have what's called the brother-in-law comparison. Okay. And this is insane. If you ask a man in the United States, is he happy with the amount of money that he makes at work? He'll say, yes, but my brother-in-law makes more money than I do. Right? There's always the brother-in-law that makes more money. There's this comparison. It's the weirdest thing. Okay. Let's say you're making a really, really good living and you start comparing yourselves to others. What does that do? Well, it leads to insecurity, and you start saying, oh, I'm not doing as good as so-and-so. Who cares what the other people are doing? If you're doing well, if you're taking care of your family, if you're taking care of yourself, then great. That's enough. That's what you need. When we start comparing ourselves, we feel insecurity, which then again leads to this first one right here. Hold on. Which leads to creating doubt in ourselves. Comparison creates doubt in ourselves. Let's take a look at the chat here. Okay. We've all done it though, right? We've all compared. I think on a daily basis, we compare. How many of you look at social media and go, oh, that person's life looks so much better than mine? Oh, that person has more money. That person looks more healthy. Oh, they're cuter than I am. Oh, they've got better dresses. Oh, they've got better watch than I do. We do that. Let me tell you why this is dangerous, though. I'll tell you a story. So my wife and I, when we were living in Europe, I came back to the United States and I just bought a house because we sold our house and I needed a place to put my money. So I just bought a house and it was a terrible home. I mean, we just were going to use it as a rental, but it was in a very, very nice neighborhood. That's the key to real estate, by the way. Buy the worst home in the best neighborhood, and then you'll win. So we moved home, and because I built homes with my brother since I was little, so I basically tore the whole thing down and rebuilt the home, and it's a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood now. And so we got quite lucky with that. But we were walking around the neighborhood, and I'm surrounded by, $5, $6, $7 million homes. And these homes are huge. My home is not, trust me, my home's not that. It's not even close to that. But we were walking and my wife was saying, oh, that home is beautiful. I really, really want that home. Oh, it's so nice. Look how big it is. It's got so much room. It's brand new. It's beautiful. The kitchen's great. And a woman walks out of the house. And my wife asked her and said, hey, tell me a little bit about your house. And so she told her a little bit. She said, I would love to have your house. And the woman looked at my wife. She had tears in her eyes. And she said, if you want my house, you have to take my life, meaning you have to live the life that I'm living. And we're like, what do you mean? She goes, I'm having to sell my house. My husband just cheated on me. I just found out he's been cheating on me for the past 10 years, right? We're getting a divorce. We're going to have to sell the house. We're leaving. We're doing all these things. And I went, you never know what is on the other side of this comparison. So I said to my wife, I said, would you rather have that house and her life, or would you rather have our house and our life? And she's like, oh, there's no question. Our life is so happy. We've got fun kids. We've got beautiful relationships, right? That's the problem with comparison too. You have no idea what's on the other side. In fact, usually on the other side, it's worse. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to use a swear word here, but it's a funny comparison. You know how they always say the grass is greener on the other side? Have you ever heard that? Grass is greener on the other side. Well, the grass is greener on the other side because it's full of shit. That's why. Right? There's all that fertilizer on the other side. Okay. It doesn't just get green because it's in the sunlight or it's in a better position, just because it's full of crap. Right? You can't compare. You can't compare. It will lead to absolute devastation in your life. Okay. Promote comfort. If I was going to stop your progression, I would absolutely promote comfort. And we talked about comfort in one of our talks. I hope that you noticed that these are all derived from previous talks that we've had. I would get you so comfortable. I would get you to the point where you're like, you know what? I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I would make you complacent. How many of you have ever fallen into the trap of complacency? I have. I absolutely have. You absolutely can fall into complacency because you get comfort and you go, hey, you know what? I'm going to just be happy with what I've got. And I'm not saying don't be satisfied or don't be happy with the things that you have. What I'm saying is don't choose the easy path all the time. Comfort is not about being happy with what you have. Comfort is about avoiding the hard obstacles or avoiding the harder path because you know what? I just don't want to do it. I'm too tired. I don't have the energy. It's uncomfortable. Comfort means instead of working out 20 minutes a day, I don't care, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. No, it's really uncomfortable. I'm going to go watch TV. Well, what happens with comfort? Remember that whole talk we gave on comfort. Comfort kills, remember? Comfort is one of the number one reasons why people are dying so easy. That's a big leader to diabetes. Well, I'd rather not cook my food. I'm going to go buy food out because it's more comfortable. It's easier. You're not getting the nutrition you need. I'm not going to work out. It's not comfortable. I'm not going to do the hard work because I have to wake up early. Oh, you just said it. Be grateful for what you have, but do not be satisfied. Don't be satisfied, right? And don't take the easy path. That's what we're trying to say. Okay, next. This is a huge one. Promote isolation. I would encourage people making you think that you can or you should do it alone, cutting you off from support and mentoring networks. This is pride. I would promote absolute pride in you and say, you don't need to ask for help and you shouldn't ask for help and no one wants to help you. I would cut you off so that you would isolate yourself away from people because either you feel embarrassed to ask for help or because you feel like you're imposing on people or because it's a pride issue. Why is that dangerous? Why is isolation dangerous? Well, number one, it's bad for our mental health. It's bad for our bodies. It's bad for us to be isolated. But as we say, oh my gosh, Melissa, you just said it. Thankful for Partner Co's belief in better together. Darren says it beautifully. He says, if you want to run fast, run alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to run fast and far, go with Partner Co. You can do so many more things when you work together. That was one of my hardest things for me to do in my profession, was to delegate to people and ask for help. What I found out is that people want to be asked for help. It makes them feel important, makes them feel useful. And you can't do everything alone. Don't try to do everything alone. Right? I'm going to type it out for you here at the end. Let's see. I will say it again. If you want to go fast, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast and far, go with partner co. Okay, Yolandi, that's going to be in the chat right there. Don't mind the typos. Okay, go together. That's the biggest thing. All right, next. If I wanted to keep you from fulfilling your potential, I would encourage you to indulge in short-term pleasures. I would make instant gratification more attractive than long-term growth. So you can prioritize temporary pleasures over lasting satisfaction. How many of us do this right now? Okay, now I'm going to talk about some probably uncomfortable things on the call, and that's okay because we're here for personal development, right? I think a lot of us get into short-term pleasures, and I think that's what has led to, at least in the United States, I don't know about the rest of the world, but has led to this epidemic of either drug addiction, pornography addiction, food addiction, all of these things that are quickly killing people around us. If you drive through Oakland, California, it looks like a war zone because of the instant gratification of drug use, or the instant gratification that is sweeping the nation right now. If I was going to stop you from fulfilling your potential, I would absolutely lock you into short-term pleasure and the focus on just short-term pleasure. That is what creates crime in our countries. Short-term pleasure. I don't want to work for the things that I want, so I'm going to go steal it because I need it now. Right? I'm going to hurt somebody because I want something now. I think this is the most dangerous thing to our potential, is indulging in short-term pleasures. Now, I'm not saying that everybody here is a criminal, because you're not. You're all wonderful, beautiful people. And I'm not saying that everybody in the world is a criminal, because I believe most people are good. But I think short-term pleasures are the number one thing that are stopping us from progressing, because there's an addiction factor to it. Think in your life right now. Is there something? Is it television? Is it food? Is it, I don't know, is it something else that is stopping you from progressing because it grabbed a hold of your attention all the time? Now, when we feed our short-term pleasures, the gratification is harder and harder and harder to get. So we have to do it more and more and more and more often. That's the problem with short-term pleasures. It's the problem with addictions, is that our bodies get used to it and we have to do it more often. And then, I know I came from in my family, I've had several members who had drug addiction problems, right? And it absolutely overtakes your life. So let's take a look at the chats. Wrong choices destroy. Short term is the wrong way to look at it. Start speaking to your higher self and you'll manifest the bigger picture. Absolutely, Yolandi. Absolutely love it. Okay, so if you do have a short-term pleasure that is taking control of your life, do everything you can to stop. Do everything you can to avoid that thing. It's hard. It's tough. But I'm telling you, if you tell yourself that you can do it and you take all of these other things we've talked about, you'll be able to overcome, and you're going to just be able to increase your own potential. All right. Last slide here. If I was going to stop you from progressing, I would normalize mediocrity. What does that mean? I would push the idea that mediocrity is acceptable and that success is only for the lucky few, discouraging you from striving for greatness. I walk around my neighborhood sometimes and I go, what do these people do? Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to make the money that they make or buy the house that they're going to buy. Number one, that's a comparison. They're singing happy birthday out there, if you can hear that, sorry. Number one, that's a comparison. That's dangerous for us. But also the mindset of, I can't do that. Only a lucky few can make that type of money, or only a lucky few can have that type of family, or only a lucky few can be that successful or have that type of body, whatever it is, right? Do not fall into the trap of the idea that you can't do it. You can do anything you absolutely want to, but you have to put it out there. You've got to put it out there. That again brings us back to the end here of take care of your thoughts. Why? Because they become your words. Take care of your words, they become your actions. Take care of your actions, they become your habits. Take care of your habits because they become your character, and take care of your character because it becomes your destiny. So I'm going to encourage you today to start from ground zero on some of these things. And I want you to take a real inventory of your thoughts throughout the day. I want you to be intellectually honest with yourself. And start tomorrow. Well, what time is it? Blessing, what time is it there in Africa right now? Is it early in the day or is it nighttime?
It's about nighttime.
Okay. So tomorrow
Yes.
morning, every single one of you, and I want you to share this with your families too. I want you to take an inventory of an entire day worth of your thoughts, if they're negative or positive. And I'm not talking about if you're thinking about having a slice of cheese or like that's not the types of thoughts I'm talking about. I'm talking about your self-talk. Take an inventory of it. And you can even put, was it a negative thought? I'm going to put a check mark. Was it a positive thought? I'm going to put a check mark. And look at the percentages. If you've got a large percentage of check marks that are negative, I can't do that. I can't make that call because so-and-so is not going to, they're going to say no. All negative thoughts, I want you to take an inventory of those. Then the next day, I want you to correct that. I want you to be intentional about correcting those. Try to erase every single negative thought and replace it with positive thoughts. That's day 2. So day 1, take inventory. Day 2, when you have a negative thought, stop yourself, replace it with a positive thought. And then day 3, I'm challenging you to only have positive thoughts. It's hard, but you can do it. Only have positive thoughts. And I want you to see what it does to the way that you feel. I want you to see what it does to the way that you think. I want you to see what it does to your day. Only positive thoughts, only positive attitudes, only positive affirmations. Sound good? Okay. I think you're all amazing. Love what you're doing. We are going to do amazing things for Africa. I know I keep saying it and it's coming up. It's getting close. We're doing it right. We're doing the right things. We've got great people who are with us. We've got great people who are joining us. I'm telling you, this is going to be a great, great opportunity. We're doing things that we need to do to make sure that you have an awesome, long-term, sustainable business. And we're all having positive thoughts over here at Partner Co. And one of the things that we said here is, again, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast and far, go with Partner Co. because we're better together. Thanks, Blessing. I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Always an amazing call with you on this success series, especially the mindset series that we've had over the past months. I don't know about everyone in the house, but this is indeed capacity building. We're learning so much. We're changing our thoughts and we can see changes in our lives. And it starts with just the thoughts. And I know from experience how important the thought process is to your destiny, to who you become. Indeed, you're who, you think. And it all starts with the thoughts. So partners, let's go out there and think only positive and start changing our mindset. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right. Better together. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Thank you once again, Cam. We look forward to next month.
Let's go. 2 more for the year. We got them. Let's make it happen. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cam.
That was amazing.
Thank you, Cam. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Blessing.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Cameron. It was amazing.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye,
See you
team.
guys.
Have a lovely evening, everyone.
And
Bye.
you
Thanks,
too.
Blessing.
Bye.
Thank you, Blessing.
Bye.